This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Genius Technology Brokers. Since 2019, they have been your technology advisor, shopping for all your technology services, saving you time and money as your tech broker as well as consultant. I'm here joined with one of the owners, partner, Dean. Thanks so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me, Gary. Appreciate you.
Let's start off a little bit about yourself. You're formally educated right here at Colorado State University. Your experience is vast with a background at CenturyLink for nearly 2 decades. You've been a principal and senior partner in multiple consultant companies. Share with me a little bit how your passion began for technology.
You know, I started with the phone company out of college, graduated, and maybe 2 months later I started as a temp. And desktop publishing in the proposal team. A month later I was hired as an employee. Shortly thereafter, I became a proposal specialist, proposal manager, but at the time, all about the technology there, right? Went through some organizational changes there, right? Quest purchased US West, CenturyLink purchased Quest, and I literally grew up through the organization from an analyst to, by the time I left, I helped run the government pricing organization. So I spent a lot of time and quality experience in support of the public sector, right? Yeah. Department of Defense, civilian programs, higher education, state and local governments, and the like, and all the technology required to help facilitate their mission.
Okay.
And it's, you know, along the way, always, I'm kind of a gadget guy, always enjoy kind of all the ways life can be improved through technology. Like you said, after almost 2 decades there, took an opportunity to make a change and started my consulting career. It's been 7 years now. Really, it was 2017 in August. And joined an organization, the technology brokers, and learned a lot about the business, right? One thing you should know about me, my only real goal is to leave you better than I found you, without regard to whether or not we do business. Because if I do my job right, I'm able to articulate the way that we help companies, right? The business will show up, right? But if I can help in some other way, or I can help brighten a day, or whatever it is, right? That's kind of the mission that I have. It served me well, and you know, I believe so strongly that success is a byproduct of behavior.
Right.
And all these activities that we take on, right, success kind of shows up. It's not this thing you chase or pursue. And I've learned that to be extremely true through my journey. And, you know, applying my experience in technology to the way we help businesses is just part of that, helping leave people better than I found them.
Absolutely. You definitely bring a lot to the table there, experience in the past. And in the old saying, money makes the world go round. For businesses today, technology powers that world. Has technology become the backbone of business, would you say? And it's probably more so now than ever before.
Yeah, I would. And I would say further than that, it's pervasive, right? There is no business in commerce without technology, fundamentally. And so technology is best in business when either you don't notice it at all, or you think, oh my goodness, what a fantastic experience this just was. Whether it was interacting and placing an order, making a payment, accepting information. If you notice it in the good way, that's best, but really transparent is what's important. When you think about all the infrastructure things, right? You think about internet connectivity. Nobody wants to think about their internet connection. Same thing with voice services, right?
I mean, see, you're not really thinking about the engine in the car. You know, that's going on in the background.
Right.
You just know reverse, drive, and that makes it seamless for the consumer out there. There are plenty of tech providers to choose from, I mean, which is obviously great, but can it also be overwhelming for companies who already have so much on their plate when they're out there trying to choose one?
That's right. So let's think about how a company makes a purchase decision for technology. It's usually born out of need. Sometimes it's an emergency. So what happens? Somebody is voluntold to do it. Even if they're a technology professional, it's in addition to their daily activities. And what do? They call existing provider. They call the phone company. They call the cable company. They ask the Google. They click to chat, whatever it is. But at the end of those interactions is a salesperson, right? Yeah. Salesperson is not bad inherently, right? Make the world go round. But at the same time, they have an agenda. They have a mission. Their goal is to sell you their product, right? So if a client has a need for an orange circle, right, and the service provider has a red oval, they're going to turn that oval every way they can to make it look like a red circle, right?
Interesting. And obviously they have one product to sell. Yeah. They don't have multiple to choose from like yourself. I mean, time is money. And let's face it, researching our tech options can take weeks, maybe even months. In this search, Are many companies not even sure what they should be looking for? And is this where your team can help?
Well, that's what happens, right? They have a need. They know they need something. They check. They find a salesperson who tells them what they sell, right? That salesperson takes a vendor capability view of the client. I take a client requirement view of the market, distill those options down to those that fit my client's needs, and then help consult them through the process, right? I curate that experience, and I silence the noise, and I manage that so they don't have salespeople doing salespeople things, right? If you sign by Friday or other tactics that nobody really enjoys, right? And just truly boil down to what is needed by my clients to meet their business need in an optimized fashion, right? I like to talk about saving money. Doesn't always save money, right? But we do most often, right? Because if you think about how we work, a salesperson, they get you to pay the highest price you're willing to pay for their service, not gouging or anything unethical, right? But they have a quota, and they have to meet that quota. The opposite is true for me. I get them to sell at the lowest price they're willing to sell at in the market, right? So the market range is 10 to 30%. My clients typically experience 10 to 30%. Like, there's no magic here, it's just logic, right? It's how it plays out.
So speaking of more than just saving money, I mean, when a person does find a service, do sometimes the high costs outweigh the mediocre service that maybe a salesman kind of push them into buying?
Oh, that happens all the time, right? That sales process I talk about, right? Deal gets signed, salesperson, he gone, on to the next deal, sometimes the next company, and then implementation starts. And what happens? Lo and behold, the product's not exactly as advertised, and the customer and the service delivery folks, they all kind of shake their fist at sales, right? And then the great service delivery folks will say, okay, now they'll use that as a galvanizing experience. Now we'll take care of you. Those sales guys did that, but we're going to make the best of it, right? And it's like, that could be avoided entirely, right? When you make sure there's a match in requirement to capability and the service provider, two things happen then, right? One, service is much better, not because the service provider is doing a better job. They're doing exactly what they're set out to do. It's just, it's a better fit.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, I was troubleshooting yesterday with somebody about a problem I was having. I told him, man, you're making your sales guy look bad. I mean, he promised me a lot of stuff here, and you guys aren't able to do it on the back end. With so many options to choose from, is trying to find a good fit for your company's specific needs simply leave many people overwhelmed. I mean, how important is it to know really the needs of the company that you guys are shopping for?
Right, it's critical, right? It's part of the partnership that I have. I'm not here for a transaction. I'm here for a relationship. The role I play with an organization truly is that trusted advisor. Now, that term is used, and I would say overused, in all markets, in all industries. But the way that manifests itself, right, is I have a same color jersey mentality, right? I'm an extension of their organization, but I'm more of a force multiplier, right? I can do all that legwork and bring and distill those options down to those that truly just fit, right? I'll help them go through what discovery is needed, right? My particular expertise is knowing which experts bring to bear for my client's benefit.
I mean, your team of advisors, they have extensive expertise and deep understanding of the market. Is your research vast to really know the strengths as well as the limitations of probably many providers out there?
That's exactly right. So because of the vast reach we have in the market and the portfolio of vendor partners that we have, we can serve all needs across all verticals, right? That's important because is it a different engagement with a $200 million organization? Sure. Yes, it's a different solution, different subset of vendors, different way we can support them than a small business that's maybe 100 million or 50 million or 2 million or 1 million in revenue, right? Different needs, different subset of service providers that we bring to the table and support.
There are many tech services you can help with. Obviously, business internet is the top of the list, but what about protecting that connection? How important is cybersecurity today?
Well, more than ever, right? I mean, we touch all aspects of technology, but that managed security and connectivity, right? Bad guys are trying to do bad things every minute of every day. And with the use of AI and some other tools that they have, no longer is it this large opportunity for them to go after the big guys. Right. Though we've seen that happen recently with certain airlines and with hotels in Nevada, but there's also the small business now because it's a volume play to them, right? So making sure that all industry and business is secure is core to my mission, lines up with my heritage and how I grew up supporting the government, but it's particularly true for all industry because these are people's livelihoods, right? Failure is not an option in any case. So
Not only the big guys really protected, the small guys usually aren't.
That's
For
right.
myself, I was surprised 3 months ago I got my entire channel hacked. I was like, why are they looking at a smaller guy like me? You know?
'Cause they can.
But they did. They got in and they benefited. Business today have multiple touch points where we connect with the world. Are office voice and call centers still relevant to today's communication needs? And is that an area you can help with?
Absolutely. The way we communicate with each other is critical, right? And it's evolved, and there's a lot more. It's called omni-channel these days. If you think about the call center environment and the way we interact with clients through text and Instagram and things like that. But absolutely, in that scenario, I help clients. I'm in the middle of a deal right now, just trying to help a client optimize, move their call center solution to a new provider up in the cloud and achieve some additional efficiency.
Today, not only do business stay within four walls, but most of people have personnel out there in the field as well. What about is the mobility of cell phones and tech something that you can help find a solution for?
Nope, that's right. I kind of hunt all the way across technologies. So cell phones, tablets, Internet of Things, connected devices. So not just what you're talking about, distributed workforce, but you have distributed equipment, right? So think telehealth. Think oil and gas, fleet management, all those things. Anything that has a SIM card, or really a SIM card anymore, it's a vSIM or an eSIM, right? But anything that has a SIM card that has data, or any of those phones or tablets, those are all areas we can help. Not just with the big guys that everybody knows, but there's a few other ways to optimize a client's operation that leverages the strengths of the big guys without the hassle of some of the support that they might lack in their offering.
As I said before, there are many areas that your team can help with. Can help with the IT management, audit compliance, to even expense management. When you add up all these different areas, I would imagine that a company can save a lot of money. Is this something, are your clients pleasantly surprised sometimes?
Yeah, it plays out. It's so interesting. I've had circumstances where they had a quote from a particular company, and I talked, a friend refers them, and I talk to them, and they say, well, I got this quote. I said, well, hey, great, let me see what I could do. Same company, same service, quote was 30% lower. Now, why is that? That's because the sales guy he was talking to had a quote he's trying to meet, right? The market was about 30% in that range lower than what he was offering. He was actually a little high, if I'm being honest, right? So yeah, we save money all the time, but it's a matter of process, not just in negotiation and beating everybody up. It's built into the way that we support things. It's built into the way we interact with the service providers. And by the way, the service providers love me because they know two things are true if I bring them to the table. One, I've already assessed that they're a potential fit for my client, so it's not thrown at the wall to see what sticks like some sales folks will do, right? But two, their competition is also at the table, so they need to be aggressive. So it's built in by process, right? How many times have you heard in any environment, we will not lose on price, right? Well, a lot of companies really mean that because they want a seat at the table to compete for business that is good for them.
So not only the art of negotiation, but the science of the process. The end person is definitely saving there. Not only are workers not in the office like yesteryear, but now even our data is not kept on site. Can you help find reliable data center solutions in the cloud as well?
Absolutely. It's one of the areas that I support. I call it the compute section. I don't really call it cloud anymore because it takes on much more than that, right? It's certainly the full cloud, public cloud solutions, private cloud solutions, and hybrid. But also a lot of companies actually still like to hug their iron. Sure. And there's co-location and hosting, and a migration really from that is they've made an investment. That investment they need to play out over time. We'll support that, help them find a solution to support that, and then migrate them to the cloud when the time is right.
Excellent. Almost a hybrid if somebody wants a little bit of each there.
You'll find, and my clients find, I don't have an agenda. I have a good listening process that I go through to understand their needs, and then we bring the right solution to it.
Excellent. You're not only a technology broker, but you're also a personal consultant really for each one of your clients. How do they get started with you? And most importantly, what is the cost to your clients?
Yeah. So all of my clients, all of my business is grown organically. We don't do advertising, we don't do marketing, right? It is all people in my network that I've supported that have introduced me to people in their network and so on, and colleagues and things like that. So as I meet a client, how they engage with me, it's usually through an introduction of that sort. And I just tell them how I do and what I do. And I explain to them, there's lots of consultants in this space. There's the folks that say, here's your $50,000 scope of work, so I can tell you what you're doing wrong and what you need to fix and how I can fix it for you. And then there's I'm going to save you a boatload of money and I'm going to take just 30% of your savings You're welcome, right? Well, both those folks are getting paid probably the same way I am through the service provider, right? So the wise men say, have an irresistible offer. I feel like our irresistible offer is, I'm going to apply this expertise, this process that I talked about, to your benefit client at no cost to you, right? So I'm free to my clients because I'm compensated by the service provider, but because I'm not beholden to any one of them, it's very freeing, right? So you remove that barrier to entry, right? You don't have to sign paperwork to do business with me. I can work with all levels of an organization. I can make a procurement person look like a rock star, and I can help a CFO make their budget right. I can help a CIO finish their transformation that they promised 18 months ago, right? I can play in all levels of an organization. I'm comfortable communicating and working at each level because it's amazing, to coin a phrase, how much you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit, right? I'm not there to make anybody look bad. I'm there to actually make them all look good. I don't come for somebody's job. I'm not the usual consultant that finds a way to make more billable hours. There's no billable hours. I'm here to help solve your need, right? Get you set up, optimize your environment, but I'm always there, unlike the sales guy who's gone, along the way. So I expect my service providers to do a fantastic job, and they do, but business happens, sometimes there's hiccups. I expect them to resolve those things, but if they are not on track, I'm always there in parallel. My clients can reach out to me. I've got the bat phone to the leadership of these organizations, and they recognize the need to get involved because unlike their salesperson, who's going to sell their stuff no matter what, if they don't take care of our clients, we stop bringing them to the table. Right? I don't have to use that bat phone very often, but when I do, it's been to great effect.
As a business owner, it's hard for me to beat free.
Yeah, right.
That always gets my attention.
I would say it's my favorite price.
Dean, you are a trusted advisor, and companies use your expertise so that they have the time and resources to focus on their expertise. Is this rewarding work supporting your clients?
Absolutely it is. You know, I kind of wondered, I've spent so much of my career in support of the public sector, the war fighter. And I always kind of wondered in my own mind, that's a lot of hours, a lot of work. How I'd feel if I was doing that for the barbershop or the restaurant or the manufacturer or the consultant. And what I've realized is this mission remains the same in that it's a critical piece of every company's operation. So while when all else fails, we didn't in support of the war fighter, right? I tell my team, we're Rosie the Riveter, right? We get their tech right, right? But in this case, it's the lifeline of the economy. All of these businesses, small and large.
Sure.
And the impact that we have can be so great. So I talk about trying to do good in the world, right? Leave you better than I found you. I just use my expertise to do that. That expertise happens to be around technology.
Consumers benefit, your companies benefit, your clients benefit as well. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, see all the services they provide. I mean, if you're frustrated with finding the right technology provider and you're ready to unlock exclusive access to cutting-edge solutions and really stay ahead of your competition, reach out today for a consultation. I mean, you really have nothing to lose and everything to save and gain. And once again, that is Genius Technology Brokers, your free technology advisors. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.